colloquially, you know what I'm talking about. That. Please, Lord, let this girl eat more than her mother. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. Today we're going to be reviewing and actually following supermodel Bella Hadid's diet, with some Abby twists, of course. But first, let me tell you about my sponsor, Ritual. Now, I know a lot of you are actively trying to conceive, are already pregnant, or are recently postpartum and looking to maintain your health during this new phase of life. I know the supplement world is really overwhelming, but I personally really loved Ritual's prenatal because it's third-party tested and they're really intentional and transparent about the ingredients they use and why. A lot of moms can also find a lot of prenatals can be hard on the stomach, especially when maybe they're already struggling with morning sickness. But Ritual has a unique delay release design to bypass the stomach and dissolve in the intestine to maximize nutrient absorption. So you can even take Ritual on an empty stomach without exacerbating morning sickness. It also has a unique capsule-in-capsule design that allows them to effectively combine omega-3 DHA with all of the other high-quality nutrients like vitamin D3 in 2 little capsules. I also love that Ritual is very cognizant of their environmental impact. So they use 100% recycled materials in their packaging, and their mailers are made with recycled newsprints and plant fibers. Their multivitamin is also vegan, gluten-free, and allergen-free with no colorants, added sugars, additives, or unlisted ingredients. And for my non-pregnant friends, they also have a regular multivitamin for men and women, a 50+ option, a postnatal option, and one specifically for teens. But it's super convenient because they just deliver it right to your door as part of a subscription. So even when you're having super mom brain, you won't run out. So if you're looking to conceive or you just want to fill in some of those potential nutritional gaps with a high quality multivitamin, you can use my promo code and check out the link in the description to get 20% off of your first 3 months of Ritual. And of course, a quick disclaimer that this diet was compiled from multiple secondary sources where Bella herself was quoted. So I really can't speak to the legitimacy or the accuracy of her day-to-day diet based on these sources. I also don't know if all of these meals would be pieced together in a single day. But it ultimately doesn't matter because I will simply be using Bella's alleged meals as a template for teaching gentle nutrition. And that means the meals that you see me eat are also not meant to serve as a suggestion for how you should eat, so always speak to a registered dietitian about your unique needs. All right, folks, let's dive into the celebrity diet news. So according to some very scientific sources,
sarcasm noted,
Bella doesn't believe in diets, which is both refreshing and a little shocking considering that her mom, Yolanda, has basically built herself a real peachy reputation for pushing uber restrictive diets on both of her young girls.
So their bodies are big and bulky, and I mean, they eat like men.
Pretty much all the food that we're eating is like a heart attack in a meal.
You're gonna have one night of being bad, right?
Yeah, I was actually really good this week.
And then you gotta get back on your diet though.
And it's hard to not eat any sugar, and it's hard to have to eat salad every day.
Too big, no, that's too big, the half of that. Gigi's in charge of her own diet, but to be on your best weight.
Maybe this is an act of rebellion against her mom's restriction, or maybe she just inherently respects her body and appreciates good food. Either way, we love to see it. Having said that, while she may have been able to reject her mom's disordered relationship with food, she's still not immune to diet culture, especially as a model in the public eye. Bella's nutritionist, Dr. Charles Passler, who's a chiropractor by the way, not a medical doctor FYI, has been quoted as recommending Bella follow a lower carb, high protein diet to keep her fit and lean. And that little nugget of diet insight feels a little at odds with Bella's alleged no diet mantra, since manipulating your diet to stay lean is by definition a diet. So I'm kind of having mixed feelings about this day already, but you know your girl's gonna be making adjustments as I see fit. So let's go attempt to eat like a supermodel today. Well, kinda, maybe, we'll see. Okay, so according to Vogue magazine, Bella works out for a solid 2 hours every day. And I mean, if this amount of activity feels good to Bella and it supports her fitness and energy levels, great. Like, you do you. But for most of us non-model folks, that's a hard pass. Most authorities recommend 30 to 60 minutes of physical activity 5 days a week to really optimize health benefits. So don't feel like you're slacking if clocking a solid 14-hour training week is not your journey. This is a reminder to always listen to your body and what it needs most, even if that means like a 20-minute workout, taking a rest day, or a gentle walk or stretch. Because most of us have way too much on our to-do lists for a 2-hour daily sweat sesh. Poppy? She's licking her chops, so I don't know about that. So apparently, Bella's routine consists of 20 minutes of running, followed by a boxing session, followed by some strength training exercises that target the abs and the glutes with 10 minutes of stretching before and after. That's a no for me. Your girl doesn't run, hashtag postpartum pelvic floor. And I also don't have boxing gloves, and I also don't have 2 hours to kill in the gym. So I'm gonna do a quick walk, do some ab exercises on the floor there, maybe some glute work, and stretch a little and call it a day. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Okay, so according to Vogue here, her post-workout recovery meal is usually a smoothie, a juice, or a protein drink that she has 30 minutes after a training session, where she says she tries to prioritize protein to strengthen muscle mass and increase the effects of the session. Let's talk about it. Of course, protein is important post-workout, but carbs are also essential for replenishing glycogen stores and eliciting a little insulin response to drive protein into the muscle faster. Also, the anabolic window for post-workout recovery fuel is actually much wider than we once thought. Most people don't need to rush home to chug a protein shake within like 30 minutes. We actually have about 4 hours around the training session to really optimize protein muscle synthesis. Though how long you can push it will also depend on your pre-workout nutrition as well. So if Bella had had some protein like 2 hours before her workout, she would have a lot more flexibility in terms of when to get that post-workout fuel in. But since this seems like it might be the first meal of the day, I'm glad to see she's prioritizing it pretty soon after training. Though I'm not sure how the she would manage to work out for 2 hours on empty, because your girl was hungry as I'm gonna go with the smoothie route because the juice would be great as like a pre-workout for like a quick burst of energy, but it's not gonna give us the protein that we want. And a protein drink, I mean, I don't know what that means. Maybe it's just like protein powder in water. That's not gonna give us the carbs that we want. So I'm gonna combine the best of both worlds. And since we've got breakfast coming, when I'm gonna have like a more satiating, balanced meal, I'm gonna keep this super easy, lower fat, so it's easier for me to digest fast, and just stick to some fruit for carbs and some protein powder for a protein. The banana, frozen cherries, I need a fancy straw. We're gonna go with my kids' smoothie cup, which I guess I'm gonna have to refill about 3 times. But it'll be worth it, because look at that. That is so good. All right, post-workout down, let's talk breakfast. It is unclear whether or not she has the breakfast in addition to the post-workout, but I really hope so because your girl is hungry. So That's how we're gonna do it. So according to Harper's Bazaar, Bella's go-to breakfast is either eggs and sausage or an egg sandwich on a bagel from her favorite New York City bagel shop. And do not make fun of me for how I say bagel. I am Canadian and I have my own way of pronouncing it. But you know, in New York, bagels are pretty much like their own food group. So it sounds good to me. Oh, hi, me again. Just FYI, despite what diet culture will tell you, a bagel is not equivalent to 6 slices of bread. It's actually closer to like 3 slices of bread or around a cup of rice. And most research recommends like 1.1 to 1.5 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight after a high intensity workout. So for Bella, that would be around like 60 to 80 grams of carbs, likely in the higher end of this range because she did work out for 2 hours. So yeah, can we just stop demonizing bagels? I love me some breakfast sausage, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna do the egg bagel sandwich route because that way we're getting fat and protein in the eggs and some carbs in the bagel. And I'm gonna bump it up, make it more of a satiating, balanced, hunger crushing combo, and I'm gonna show you how. Let's do it. Let's scramble some eggs. All right, I usually do like a combo of like a little bit of olive oil just to like coat the pan and also so the butter doesn't burn. But I like the flavor of butter better. So I do a little both-ies. I just like to coat that. It's probably good. I always have a tendency to add way too much butter and then I basically just like fry everything, deep fry it. So I'm gonna leave that butter on the side in case I need to add more. Okay, eggs. I'll do 2 eggs. Probably good, plus the protein shake. I'm not starving. A little whiskey. And pep. This is already too high, I can tell. All right, Brody, I'm making you work here. Okay. And I'm gonna add cheese because I like everything better when there's cheese on it. I don't know if Bella likes cheese, but I don't care because I do. So we'll just do a quick little scramble because it's gonna go, oh, I should start toasting on a bagel. These are not Montreal bagels and I'll tell you why. I prefer a Montreal style bagel, or I guess New York style. I know they're different, but I don't know the difference because I'm Canadian and we eat Montreal style bagels. But anyways, I love a good Montreal style bagel, but my kids don't like them. They're just too chewy for them. They're hard to eat. So I had to go with the basic bagels that my actual kids would eat because I don't like to waste food in this house. No, we don't. Okay, I think these are like pre-split. Perfs. There we go. All right, let's toast that bad boy. Kind of like a little baby omelet. Beautiful thing. With the cheese oozing out. Let's just give it a nice pat down. I don't think you're supposed to pat your eggs, but here we are. All right, I got some lettuce. I'll just give it a quick rinsey rinse. We're gonna add some extra fiber here. Ooh, a little bit more toast, a little bit more toasting. Are you a double toaster or a single toaster? I like it with a little more color, a little more texture, especially when we got something fluffy in the middle, like some scrambled eggs. It's got some Roma tomato here. Buttes. And there's our sad little butter pat that just did not make it to the pan today. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Okay, please let this avocado still be ripe. It's questionable. She's been hanging around these parts for a little while. I think that's still an acceptable, edible avocado. Nope. Keep jumping the gun here on this bagel. All right, slicer, slice, slice, slice. I don't know what kind of fruit Bella likes, but I did want to bump up the fiber here, so we've got a nice selection of things that things that I meal prepped on the weekend. Okay, this is the right level of toasting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is a beaut. Okay, beautiful. Egg. How do we want to do this? Because the order is everything. I do, that, always in the way. All right, let's get the avocado down first because it's going to act as like the glue. That's what I'm working with here. So basically, you're going to pretend like you're making avocado toast. A little smear. I think that's skin on there, which we want to discard. All right. Now, in my opinion, avocado is terrible without salt, so we're going to just put a little salt on top before we even get into the egg action. This is going down. Oh, she's big. You can't even see the bagel. No one would know. No one would know that there's, oh, the lettuce is supposed to go down next. Guys, I already screwed this up. It's okay. It's breakfast. Doesn't need to be an Instagram perfect masterpiece. Because Lord knows I would just like eat the components rather than actually like make anything with them in real life. Okay, that's looking pretty damn good. Is it going to be an absolute disaster to consume? Yes. Yes, it is. But, you know, we're going to work with it. I need a bib. I'm going to wear my kid's bib. I shouldn't wear a dry clean only shirt. I'm going to take a tip out of my toddler's book. Just clip that right on there. All right. I actually need to double up. Sometimes we need to double up in my house. Today is one of those times. Cutting off the circulation. She's holding together real good. Bella, I approve. Do you approve? We like.
Great success.
Awesome. It's like got wings. Like a superhero sandwich. All right, moving on. Let's talk about my favorite part of the day, coffee. Now, full disclosure, I've already had 1 cup of coffee this morning because I was up at 4 and my kids were ready to party at 5. But Bella likely is able to like enjoy her mornings to herself. So apparently her deal is that she has 3 espressos before noon. So 3 espressos might seem like a lot, but each shot actually only has around 75 milligrams of caffeine. So 3 shots is just equivalent to about 2 cups of drip coffee, which is within the recommended guidelines. Cutting off your coffee by noon is typically best practice since caffeine has a half-life of around 3 to 5 hours, meaning it can take your body up to 3.5 hours to eliminate half of the caffeine from your system. So in other words, it would take about twice as long to fully clear it. Obviously, some people can drink espresso at 11 p.m. and then go to bed the next moment, no problem. So how early you need to cut off caffeine is highly individualized and will depend on your tolerance and your unique caffeine metabolism capacity. Some of us folks produce less of the CYP1A2 enzyme or have a genetic variation of the ADORA2A gene, which makes us slow metabolizers of caffeine. So we therefore need more time. But we also know that consuming caffeine too close to bedtime can delay the onset of sleep and reduce total sleep time, with one study suggesting that caffeine 6 hours before bedtime reduced sleep by a whole hour. That's a no for me, dog. That hour in bed is pretty precious to us insomniac moms. I also have the slow metabolizer gene, so I have like a strict 10 a.m. cutoff when it comes to caffeine, just because I go to bed at 8, #grandma, and that's just kind of what works for me. Also, I cannot drink espresso just like straight up in the morning, so I already fixed myself a little soy milk latte. All caffeine is good caffeine. All right, let's talk mid-morning snack. So Bella has been photographed constantly with a green juice in her hand, basically like most of the LA elite, I suppose. So I'm just gonna like call that her mid-morning snack. Listen, I know I poke fun at green juice a lot, but there's nothing inherently wrong with it if it's something that you enjoy. It really comes down to intention. Are you drinking the green juice because it's a flavorful way to get your hydration, carbohydrates, and micronutrients? Or are you attempting to detox or cleanse your body? FYI, a lot of influencers will insist that juicing helps to like reset your gut by giving your digestive system a break. And while it is true that the act of pressing water out of produce kind of like pre-digests it, making it faster to digest, that's not necessarily a good thing. It means missing out on beneficial fibers, which keep us fuller longer and actually helps to promote long-term gut health. Not to mention, a lot of green juices like celery juice are rich in FODMAPs, which can actually exacerbate digestive distress. So it's certainly not for everyone. Yeah, I don't love verdant water, and I prefer to eat my vegetables whenever possible. So I'm gonna do like a quick little snack of some veggies and some hummus for dipping, just for some extra protein, fiber, and satisfying fat. Nah, I'm just with you. You can cut it like a normal human. Good, good, good. So a little veggie, some snap peas, some carrots, which are my fave, and hummus. Only satisfying. And I'm gonna double dip because it's my snack. All right, let's move on to lunch. So I was personally way more excited to try her TikTok famous prosciutto and pine nut pasta. Love me a good pasta lunch, and a substantial lunch may be particularly helpful for someone like Bella, who's been quoted as saying she has low blood sugar and therefore needs to eat all the time. Now, I'm not sure if she's referring to legitimate hypoglycemia or if she's using the phrase casually to denote having high nutrient needs. Either way, I think it's a good enough reason to reject her chiropractor nutritionist's advice to go lower carb to keep her lean. My approach would be to focus on having regular meals and snacks packed with fiber-rich carbs, protein, and healthy fats to keep those energy levels nice and stable. All right. Okay, so I found this kind of pseudo recipe for this online. I'm not sure where this publication found it, but I'm gonna try to follow it kind of as best as I can, while also Abbeyfying it, obviously, just to make it a little bit more satiating and balanced. So it calls for a shallot. I didn't have a shallot, so an onion's gonna have to do the trick. We got some water slowly coming to a boil. That's how I feel about watching water boil. You see that?
Did you say it's rolling yet?
It's not rolling yet. It's not rolling yet. Chop this up quick. You gonna cry?
Yep.
You gonna cry?
Huh? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? Huh? Huh? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? Huh? What are you? Huh? You're gonna squirt some? You gonna cry? Huh?
My girlfriend has to cut them every time.
That's so funny. I've never cried from it. I think it's a genetic thing. I don't know.
Like I genuinely have to like go lay down.
Oh my god. Okay, so onion, we good. Garlic. Ugh, there's nothing I hate more than having to peel garlic. It's just tedious. I'm not gonna lie, I often buy like pureed garlic because I just can't bring myself to have to like do this every single time, and then it stinks up your board, it stinks up your hands. For most recipes I can't, but for you, Bella, for you, I'm gonna be one smelly. So she just says, or whoever wrote this recipe just says to thinly slice these, so that's what we're gonna do here. Quick little, I hate when they're so tight. I know you're thinking about it too.
That's what she said.
Said no guy ever.
Or woman.
I was just like, hey.
Or whatever you identify as.
Exactly. Said no one ever. Suddenly it's not safe for work. Okay, I feel like this is probably enough garlic. It's enough garlic for me. Okay, let's get some olive oil in here. This is a very poorly written recipe, that's all I can say. Okay, we got it first. They want the nuts down. I normally would not toast nuts in oil, but that's what it's telling me to do, so here we are. You might as well start cutting up some of these other guys and cleaning up. My mother taught me you should always clean as you go so you don't end up with a massive mess at the end and having to eat cold food while you clean. That is never a good time. So this recipe calls for a couple ounces of prosciutto, which is one of my favorite food groups. So I'm not gonna skimp on that. Just a whole food group. Italian cured meats. I'm just gonna quick chop, chiffonade as we call it, but the worst chiffonade ever made. Now it's just butchering. Now it's just mangled. Okay, that'll do. We're gonna pan fry that, so it's gonna get crispy and release all that delicious porky fat. I'm gonna be using some chickpea pasta, just a little bit extra fiber and protein in here, and my kids really love it too. So we're gonna wait for that to come to a rolling boil and then pop this bad boy in. And then we can get sauteing up those onions. Oh, it smells good. Onion and garlic down. But you know what? We're gonna let him live. We're gonna let him enjoy his day in the onion pool. And look at that, right on cue. She is rolling. Bye-bye. Might be spicy as but it's gonna be a lot. Call for half a teaspoon, so I'm just gonna say that's appropriate. Okay, let's let some of that hammy flavor come out. All right, so while that's cooking away, I'm gonna just slice the broccolini up, take some of the rough stems off, and cut them nice and thin so they cook quickly, right? Bella! Bella! You know, girl. You know. I can see why this became like a viral TikTok recipe. Okay. I'm gonna add a little more olive oil so I can add in my broccolini. Bye-bye. All right, let's just let them chill in there for a secchi. Leave it alone so they crisp up. And what am I gonna do? Oh, I know. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a second. The OG recipe is basically just calling for the prosciutto, the pasta, the pine nuts, and I mean, all good things, right? I figured I'm gonna build this into a more satiating meal. I've got the chickpea pasta in there for some extra protein and fiber. I've got some broccolini here for some extra micronutrients and color and extra fiber. I'm also gonna add in some of these turkey sausages that I cooked up earlier just to add some extra protein as well. But I mean, it is looking like a delicious meal. These are like roasted red pepper turkey sausages. I'm gonna add a splash of the starchy cooking liquid, just to steam these guys a little bit. That means we need... Okay, so last touches here. A little bit of pasta water just to zhuzh up that sauce. Lots of Parmesan cheese. Ow! Motherfucker! Oh no. All fixed. Thanks to my frozen Band-Aid.
Let it go, can't hold it back anymore.
Oh God, it's already coming off. This is not the most food safe situation. But it's just for me, so we're good. This is why people buy pre-grated cheese. It's a hazard. A little bit more of this. There we go. Loosen that up a bit. Yeah. All right, I am very excited to plate this bad boy up. All right, let me clean up. Okay, so let's recap. We got some extra protein and fiber in the chickpea pasta. We got lots of fiber and micronutrients in our broccolini. I added some extra protein in the turkey sausage. Plus we've got healthy fats in those beautiful pine nuts. So I'm very excited to dig in. I've got to get that, that prosciutto. The heat is just perfect. So good. Whew! All right, let's talk about dinner. Okay, so according to Harper's Bazaar, when Bella isn't cooking for herself at home, as we just kind of did, she will usually opt for a New York slice. And she also loves the sauteed kale at a restaurant called Westville. I sadly cannot go to New York today, as much as I'd like to, but I gotta pick up the kids from camp. So instead, I have a frozen pizza ready to go. I'm just gonna gussy it up, and I figured we can have some sauteed kale on the side. Let's do it. All right, so I always see these frozen pizzas as like a blank slate. Something that I can easily add whatever I have already in the fridge on top, just to like bump up the satiety factor. So I've got some broccoli here, and I'm just going to mince up a little bit so that it cooks really fast. Looks good. Sprinkle, sprinkle, little broccoli. All right, I've also got some bell pepper, which I will use some of. I never want to waste the top, so I'm using that. A little bit of bell pepper for some extra color. Ugh, I'm making a f***ing mess. I need an assistant for all this chopping. Done, done, done. All right, looks pretty good. Let's pop it in the oven. All right, so I got some kale here. I like to just get it really fine, and I've taken the stalks out so that it's not like chewing on a rubber band. Got the garlic, guys. I'm just gonna stick it in the corner here in some oil and hope that it gets nice and fragrant. Leave some room. There you go. Does anyone else feel like really cheated when they're sauteing greens? It's like, it starts with a mound and then you're left with like one tiny bite. Add some salt, a little pepper. I just had an idea. How do we feel about everything bagel kale? We're gonna go for it. You're gonna go for it. Like, how is it gonna taste bad? Here's, All right, give that a quick second here. It's very good. It's very good. And I don't normally like kale that much, but I'd eat that. Let's not turn on the fire alarm today. All right, let's just let these guys wilt down for a second. All right, now we wait for our pizza. This looks so good. Oh, this is... All right, folks, let's recap. So we got lots of fiber in our kale. I've also added some olive oil in there for good measure. Put some extra protein on my pizza as well as some extra veggies. So we've got some fat, fiber, protein, all the good stuff in life. And we got pizza. And we got everything bagel spice. Like, guys, did I nail this or what? Let's see. Delicious. Whoa, what was that?
First time eating?
First time eating? I've never experienced that before. All right, pizza time, baby.
Pizza time.
It's not New York, but it's pretty good. Honestly, I was pretty impressed by this day. I mean, aside from the excessive exercise situation, I feel like it was a pretty chill food day. We had pasta, we had pizza, and I also had a decent amount of veg. So I'm feeling pretty good. So if this is how Bella regularly eats, I mean, kudos to her for rejecting the generational diet cycle and just eating the damn carbs. And that's all that I have for you guys today. If you liked it, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with your thoughts and who you'd like to see me review next. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!